always allow it.
That brings me on to something I was going to ask you about, which is about what happened when Steve took over. There was this massive pruning operation, because there was a big squad, a massive squad that Brian had here, and probably an awful lot of money going out the door just simply on wages. And there was this quite a massive pruning operation, which was quite to bring a new manager in such as Steve McClaren and tell him straight away that, well, basically you've got to get rid of 20 players before you can do anything, or words to that effect.
Well, we didn't. No, that's not what we did. What we said to Steve is we have a lot of players on the periphery earning very good salaries who are not contributing to the well-being of this football club. I simply cannot allow you to bring more players in, because the club cannot afford it. What you have to do is get rid of them players, and what you get rid of is what you can have.
Right.
So there wasn't a reduction in our wage bill in any shape or form. It was a turnover of players to become more effective. And Steve was great with that. He understood it. And what he understood also is that if you go to any football club, you go there because the previous manager has either left or has been sacked.
Yeah.
If he's left, it's because he's gone to a bigger club and he's done really well, and therefore you come in and the players are all on a bit of a downer because the manager's left. Or in our case, you are coming in because the manager that has been sacked, and therefore the group of players aren't good enough. Aren't good enough. So we had to go through that year, and Steve's remit was make up your mind on players, get them out, and create resource to bring new players in. And what you also never do is you do not give a new manager have a sack of money, because Steve was unproven.
Yeah.
He was proven as a coach, and I wasn't prepared to mortgage the future of this football club.
Well, so was Brian.
Yeah. Different circumstances. Brian Robson came into a club that had a turnover of about £3.5 million. He had a squad that was costing about £1.5 million in wages. And so the downturn for Brian, it was very, very low. With Steve, you bring in a new manager, and if you're relegated, the cost, when you're in the Premiership, the cost is horrendous.
Turnover's now, what, about 50-something million?
Sorry?
The turnover now at the club's about 50 million?
About 45 million.
45, yeah, okay.
Yeah, turnover's about 45 million.
It's a massive difference.
Yeah. So
You said in an interview, once again, that you foresaw that players' wages would plummet, as would the transfer market, and that was the reason I asked that last question. Was I wondered whether that was just a very cunning plan, to get rid of the high-waged players, or maybe
certainly part of it.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Part of the plan was that we felt that wages were only going to go one way, and that was down, and we wanted to bring in the remit for our players was to bring in. First of all, they had to be talented and be able to play. Secondly, a real willingness to learn.
Yeah.
And to learn from Steve and his coaching staff. That was the strength of Steve McClaren, his coaching ability. And in my discussions with him leading up to his appointment, I felt sure that he had man management skills as well. I know how well he man managed me. So
to get the job.
that told me an awful
awful
lot about Steve McClaren, and I think he's learned in the 2 years he's been here, he's learned an enormous amount. And
he's achieved a lot.
He has. I mean, if you look at Steve's 2 years, and you kind of, I think we've had what did we get last year? 48 points. And
48, 49
the year before
points,
was 45. We still got quite a bit to do, but behind the scenes, the structures that we have in place throughout the club are much, much better than they've ever been in the history of the club.
You're in an unenviable position, in my view, because when the time comes that you want to go, you because of where your heart lies with this football club, you won't just let it go to any old Mohammed Al Fayed who might pop his head around the door with however much money you want to get. Do you know what I'm saying? How's it going to work? Do you see yourself one day saying my work is done?
I've never
do you know
thought
what I mean?
like that. I think the club can be a tremendous power for good in the town. We do things that nobody knows about. You look to an area like Grangetown. Certain parts of this town, if you're male and you're born today, your life expectancy is 50 years.
Wow.
That's third world. They're not my figures. They're government figures.
Wow.
Now-
Test your memory here. Do you remember Alan Moody played for the Borough?
I did. He was my next door neighbour.
That's right, because I interviewed him some years ago now, because he's down in Surrey now,
Yes.
running a golf club.
Yeah.
And I asked him about, several things as you do. And I asked him about what he thought of you. He says, well, he said, I remember Steve Gibson, when he was a boy, he used to come and get the match programmes after the match. Is that right?
Yeah, and Alan was
Fantastic.
fantastic. He used to he used to also supply me with tickets occasionally.
All right.
And I used to play football with his brother, but I'd play cricket with Alan.
Mm-hmm. Oh, because he was a cricketer, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, he was a very good, useful cricketer,
Yeah.
and I remember him being picked for England. I think it was England under 18s,
Mm-hmm.
and he actually let me wear his England cap.
Oh, the cap with that photograph that I used in the interview, to accompany the interview. Do you remember that photograph of him with them young lads hanging around him?
That's right.
Yeah, lovely.
So
Yeah.
he actually
He's
let me
all right
wear
with
his
that.
cap.
Occasionally, you may be in a reflective mood. So, apart from when you look back, apart from the stinking open-air toilets and the crumbling stands and the misery of defeat permeating the air, is there anything at all you miss about Essen Park?
No.